All right, Jeremy, are we ready? As they're pulling up we got the slides up. I am very honored, and the elders have asked me to present this to you today. I'm also extremely excited about what I am presenting to you today. And so I only have about 8 minutes to get this done, so I'm going to do my best to meet that time and to make sure we get out of here on time. I know most of you in here remember that over the last several months ago, we had a lot of working groups, a lot of committees that we put together to understand what does this congregation need with regards to our facilities, and we even looked out to what that might be in the year 2030. And so we developed that list, we compiled that list, and the last time we spoke to you, we were going to present that list to the architect and allow the architect to come back to us and tell us what that might be for us. So what the elders have asked this committee, and you see the list of names here, what we've done since that point is the architect came back, and the elders felt that there's a need to reconvene this committee, these individuals here, and to work with the architect to see if what they presented met our needs, and then also what we need to do going forward. So just to let you know what we've done, we've met several times with the architect. Most recently, here in the last several months, we've met with the elders and with the architect, all of us working together. We have worked with the architect to revise the plan to better meet the needs of the congregation, but also to reduce the project cost. If you can imagine, when we presented all those needs to that architect, he came back with something that was along the lines of $5.5 million. And that was something we knew that we needed to look at and make sure that we put something reasonable on paper. And that's what we've been trying to do. During this time, there have been several reassessments of the proposed plan. We achieved consensus on a proposed building structure, and we have also been given a rendering of this potential facility. And we've also have drafts of the proposed floor plan that I want to show you today. These will also be out in the foyer if you want to spend more time looking at those. Here is the rendering so far that the architect has put together based off of what we have worked with him on or her on. What you're seeing here is everything out to the south of us, okay? And this is the main part of the construction that we're going to be doing. So I'll show you the floor plan now, and again, you can see this. This will be out in the be displayed out in the lobby. Here's the floor plan. Now I know it's small. I understand that. The star, I didn't put that sign, "You are here," but that's what that represents. You are here in that auditorium where the star is. Phase 1 is we want to renovate the classrooms, and I'll show you what that means in just a moment. We can do that, we think, now. However, phase 2 is over here south of us. We would like to add a fellowship, what we would call fellowship building, a wing associated to that, and I'll explain that in further detail with you in just a moment. And then thirdly, we then would work on the annex, renovating it to meet further needs of our congregation. The classrooms. In simple, what we're wanting to do is make them larger, and we're wanting to make a larger teacher workroom with the libraries and the basement floor. Again, you can see these drawings out in the display, but that's literally what we're trying to remove some wall, add a couple of walls, and let's make larger classrooms for our teachers, more accessible, better learning centers. As far as phase 2 in the fellowship wing, several key points I'm wanting to share with you. First, we're wanting to add a large fellowship area, which you can see that's almost twice as large as the auditorium here. We also, just right above that fellowship area, we're wanting to add a more versatile, smaller fellowship room that can be used for several different reasons, whether it be showers or things along that line, or even classrooms. We can divide it down the middle, several different ways we can use that room. We also are wanting to add adult classrooms that are upstairs, more accessible to the building. And we're also wanting to improve the nursery that we have now. There will also be a courtyard that separates this auditorium and that fellowship room. And one of the things the congregation told us is we need a safe place for our children after church and between church and those kind of things. It will also serve for a lot of different purposes. And then the other thing that the congregation has asked is that we need something that's more accessible all on one level. And we think building this wing off to the south of us will allow that to happen with only a few things then needing to be downstairs. Immediate plans. We're trying to finalize these drawings with the architect now. We want to do that so we can actually get some costs from contractors to see exactly how much this is going to be. We have estimated costs, but we need to know exactly what that would look like. We then want to determine fundraising plans. We also want to go ahead and move on phase 1 of this project, which is renovating the classrooms. And then please note that next week's contribution will go toward the building fund, which is one reason why we wanted to present this to you today. Additional plans. We're targeting the next update to this congregation to be in the fall of 2016. Hopefully by that time we will have some finalized drawings, some cost estimates, and including some fundraising ideas and promotions that we're going to need to do to make this happen. And then we're also requesting that you please prayerfully consider your contribution for this next Sunday, which will go toward all of what we're talking about now. The last thing that we want to do is make sure we thank you. I don't want to speak on behalf of the elders per se. They didn't tell me to say this, but I know this to be true. This decision and these decisions and this activity is not going without a lot of prayer and a lot of consideration, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of stress. I want to thank you so much for the support that you have provided, for the prayers that you've already offered, for the patience that you are continuing to show. This is very exciting. We serve a God that is living and is alive, that is real. And we just want to make sure that all we're doing here is helping us serve Him further in the future. So please continue to pray for us, continue to pray for the elders, and continue to pray for this activity. Thank you so much for all you do for this congregation.